everyone, and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion while finding your peace. Today, I am truly honored to welcome Tannaz Hosseinpour, a certified life coach and therapist in training who specializes in relationships. You are going to want to hear this one. What this lady is going to tell you is transformational. And it's not just with others, but with also ourselves. She combines science, mindfulness, and her unique background in law and counseling to help people find balance, calm their nervous systems, and create deeper, healthier connections. But beyond her impressive expertise, Tannaz is truly a beautiful person, inside and out. And I may be being biased here, but I had the joy of meeting her at a transformational goddess retreat perched in the beautiful rocks of Mykonos, overlooking the breathtaking island, where every evening a beautiful group of us were gifted with the most divine sunsets. That retreat wasn't just a gateway for me, it was the first step on my healing journey and empowerment journey, which I'm not sure if she realizes how she had a huge part to do with this transformational journey of mine. From the nourishing Mediterranean diet to the transformational practices I had never encountered before, and the chance to reconnect solely with incredible women in a loving, supportive, and healing space left an unforgettable mark to this day on my heart, which we will reveal more about. She's much more than just an exceptional leader in her field. She's a radiant presence who inspires healing and growth simply by just being around her. And with this gratitude and warmth, I have the absolute honor of welcoming the beautiful Tannaz to the podcast today. Hey.
Ellie, that was so beautiful. I loved it. Thank you so much for those kind words. And I feel so honored to be here and to have witnessed this journey of yours and to have experienced your presence at the retreat. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And what I really love about this podcast, especially in the expertise that I believe you are just a goddess in, let's put it that way, like Cupid goddess, okay? Is how much I don't think you realize, not just your words, but the way you carried out the retreat, how much impact that particularly has had on my life. So there's two major things that really had changed my life, which was things I realized about my body that I was consuming. And it was only because, and I will say it like this, and her retreats are 100% not like this, they're incredible, but she knows so much about what she's doing. And at the time, I didn't realize that consumption isn't just in your mouth, it's your mind, it's everything you're doing. And so we particularly had meals planned for us. And I remember at the time not seeing really any carbs, not seeing any meat, any fish. And I kind of was having a little bit of a withdrawal symptoms. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh. And I kept thinking about, maybe in the evening we could have, and I was having this real, and I don't think I even expressed this to anybody, but I stuck with it. I honored it, and I honored the experience. And I'll be honest with you, at the start, I was really out of my comfort zone because one, I had never been around just solely women for that period of time, and having very heart-centered, which I didn't realize at the time, like really raw, deep conversations and practices, and the part of me which was stepping into the unknown, which I think we really should embrace all the time, wanted to literally run and be like, this is not for me, alert. And I want to be so real and true and honest with this, because what you're going to hear from the other side of it is how much it really changed my life. So I stuck with the diet, and then slowly I started noticing my body's not bloated anymore. My skin is not all breaking out, and my mind is not foggy. And it just goes to show every single thing, even though she didn't sit and say, this is for this, and this is for this, and this is for this, it was just so cleverly crafted that it just slipped up, particularly on me. And it, even to this day now, I then discovered that I can't have dairy, I can't have gluten. I can in small doses, but I don't want to have it because now I really can hear, I have clarity, and the impact on my life now is transformational. So I don't want to talk too much, and there was another part to it, but I feel like I could keep talking because I've just got so much gratitude towards you, Tannaz. But is there anything you would like to add to that, first of all, before I continue with the real gem afterwards?
I mean, I love the insight that you shared. And, when we plan retreats, and specifically for that retreat, something that was really important to Arzu and I was to take away any element that could act as a resistance, like as a barrier to self-awareness. And what I mean by that is when we eat meals that are, let's say, heavy in nature, right? We want to have a nap afterwards, and we'll come up with all the excuses of, oh, I'm not really in the mood to sit down and to go within and to even connect with others. I want to go nap, or I'm feeling so bloated. You become so preoccupied with those bodily sensations that they act as a barrier to going within and to doing the really, really hard work that all of us did, like all of you ladies, myself included, because I learned through teaching as well. And I know myself more through the reflection of every participant. So, this is heavy work. And the mind will come up with 1,000,001 excuses to not do it. And, we just wanted to be intentional with the itinerary and with the menu to kind of remove some of those barriers that we anticipated based on previous experience.
Amazing. And for anyone listening, as you can hear from that, I just openly asked something she didn't tell us, because I think this also, and it's not hiding things from people, but it's sometimes our mind, and this is just my personal opinion, I think sometimes when we're given everything, sometimes when we're on that healing journey and we are in the unknown, we kind of try to find a reason to justify it another way. So I really, really like that I shared something that I noticed and you confirmed it. And I think this is what comes is it comes in the end, and it's so funny as well because as we said, it was a Mediterranean, it was vegetables basically, and there was me again with these limiting beliefs of I'm gonna be so hungry, I'm gonna be so this, but like what you said, I was so fueled, I was so energized, I was sleeping better, we were doing some intense yoga and breath work and journaling. This was from 7 till probably, we said 7, but it was probably beyond. There was no okay girls, see you tomorrow. We were living in that space together, owning each other and honoring each other and having so much fun too. I really want to say about your retreats. So thank you. The second thing that was really transformational to me, and I tried to really retell this in your way, but I'm so thankful you're here right now. So then in the future, I can start the conversation, say, listen, go to episode with Tannaz. She will explain it perfectly, okay? Because I'm really not doing a great justice of this. And what it was is I remember, and this was off timetable, by the way, everyone. This was just us sitting, eating, connecting. And we were playing cards or something. I remember it so vividly. And we're just eating. And then we started talking about relationships. And I remember your wise words. And I really want you to carry this on, because I don't want to, I just want to tell you the really loose way that I heard it. And what it was is, I can't remember who exactly it was, whether it was me or someone else, but we talked about someone we would like to meet, because a lot of us were single ladies at the time. Actually, I think majority of us were. And I remember just Tannaz saying, "Can I ask you a question?" She's so good at this. She'd never just will just say it. She always says it in such a loving, nurturing way. And she just said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I just remember whoever it was answering it, it was 100% for everyone in the room. And she said, "Are you all those things for another person?" You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you now? So if you could expand on the containers, I would be absolutely blessed to hear it again. It was transformational, transformational.
I love that this resonated with you and it stayed with you. And I think, we hear things that we are ready to receive. And the things that stay with us means that they're part of our journey and we were meant to hear it. And nothing really belongs to us. So if I said those words, it was channeled through me at that time for someone specific or multiple people to hear. And the universe speaks to us through other people. So we're here just as a medium. And, the words don't belong to me. But in essence, what we were talking about is multiple things. The first being of, we all have a list of things that we want someone to have and to be. And the first part of that is becoming curious with, do I actually want that? Or have I been conditioned to want that? That's the first step, right? So a lot of it is conditioning. A lot of it is we were told that someone needs to be X, Y, and Z to be a good partner. But we all come with a different blueprint. And what I seek in a partner might be different than what you seek. So that's the first step. The second step is, okay, that which I desire in my partner, am I embodying that myself? So if I want my partner, let's say, to be generous, am I generous? And it's not only generous in the sense of gifts, but generous with my time, generous with my energy, generous with my space. So that's the second part. And then the third part, which we talked about in the retreat, and Arthur always brings this up too, because she really resonated with it, is the different intimacy tanks we have and this pressure that we put on our partners to be everything for us at every given moment. So Dr. Esther Perel talks about this, how in the past, let's say, our grandparents' generation, there was this unspoken rule where the wife was stayed at home, took care of the kids, took care of the house, and the husband was the one who brought the money and was the primary breadwinner. So the expectation was the husband to financially provide and the wife to take care of the home and have kids. Now, over the years, due to various reasons, women going into the workforce, shared responsibilities, and all of that, these expectations have shifted. But now we're on this complete other side of, I need you to financially provide, to be, a leader in the house, but also I need you to be my lover, my best friend, my confidant. There's a lot of expectations, right? My spiritual mentor, or the person I meditate with all the time. And I need you to meet all my needs. And it can feel overwhelming for someone to have that much expectations on them, the same way it would feel for us. Because if someone expected us to be their everything all the time, yes, there are moments that we have the time and capacity to do that. But, life happens. We can't control external circumstances. There might be a loss in the family, the extended family. We might get sick. We might have challenges at work. And then we might not have the capacity to meet those needs. What happens then? So it's really that exercise, which is break expanding the definition of intimacy. So when we think intimacy, we think sexual or we think physical. And I wanted to expand that definition and say, okay, we have intellectual intimacy, someone who intellectually stimulates you, emotional intimacy, someone who you can express your emotions to without fear of judgment or shame. We have spiritual intimacy. So it's not only the spiritual and the religious component, but our values and our belief systems, having that relationship. Then we have experiential intimacy, traveling, going on retreats, checking out restaurants, doing different hobbies together. And physical is non-sexual touch. So hugs, kisses, cuddles, kisses on the cheek, I mean. So we look at these 6 tanks. Few questions. One, what is a non-negotiable that my partner fills? So take, let's say, 2 or 3 from this list that is absolutely necessary for you that your partner fills those tanks. So visualize your body as a car and there's 6 fuel tanks, and these are the 6 categories. Which one of these are non-negotiable? Now you might be thinking, duh, sexual, but if it's a non-monogamous relationship, for example, sexual might not be a non-negotiable. Or for a couple who are asexual, sexual might not be. So really taking the time to ask yourself, which category is it an absolute must that my partner fill? Then ask yourself, who else do I have to fill these tanks? So maybe for me, emotional is my partner, my husband, but also my mom and my brother and my best friends, certain best friends. And I know if my partner comes home one day, even though that's a non-negotiable, if he's had a really rough day at work or he's navigating, loss in the family, I'm not going to expect him to meet that need. It's okay. I'm going to lean on to someone else. So being familiar with being aware of what my non-negotiables are, who else fills those tanks, which then leads us into community. We are traditionally tribal people. We are meant to be in supportive communities. We feel seen, safe, secure in supportive communities. So now we start to build that community, which then asks the last question of whose tanks am I filling? Yes. And am I open and aware of that? How am I showing up in my partner's life, in my friends' lives, in my family's life? So it's like a full circle moment.
Wow. Even now when you re-say it, it's just that alone is just knowing that is so impactful, because at particularly the time when you introduced me to this, you actually, which I loved as well, didn't really necessarily, because I think a lot of us were single, you didn't hone in so much on the partner, the intimate partner. And I remember your example so vividly. And it's not saying that this particular friend would not have the capacity to fill the other tanks, but you just said, and it just landed so deeply with me in particular. And you just said, that friend that you go partying with, maybe that friend doesn't have the capacity to have those deep, intimate conversations. So accept, what I heard it as, whether I don't want to put words in your mouth, was accept them at the capacity they're at and love them for the version and the role they play in your life and you play in their life. If that is your friend to go and have some fun with, go and have some fun with that friend. And that is not saying then that the other friend you meet for coffees is not going to also be that person, but maybe that friend doesn't want to go out partying, but you need to be able to, well, not need to, sorry. It's important that we have these range of people in our lives, and that we also are that to them, and know ourselves and what we give to others in order for us to fill these tanks. And I'm just such a visual person. And I forgot about the non-negotiable things. I will be 100% listening back to this and making sure that I really, really, really gain clarity on that. Because I feel like in my business now and in what I'm infusing and birthing into the world, I've really honed in on that. Not maybe necessarily on And again, it's not looking for someone. It's something that would be nice to complement the journey and the path that I'm on, not fulfilling it all. Let's might add. So yeah, I love, 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 love that you resaid that. So thank you so much, and I'm glad that it's recorded this time so I could keep listening to it.
No,
This
of
is all about
course.
me, really, guys, not you. No, I'm joking. So thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. And I love that you brought up that example, because I also want to say that when we're going through life and when we're adulting and we're going through different stages of our life, maybe the tanks that people fill for us change and maybe we change. So I used to have, a friend that we used to travel all around the world together, and then she got married and, her lifestyle changed. And so she used to fill, let's say, my experiential, and now it's shifted to emotional. So she now fills the emotional tank. So but I could have gone like and thought to myself, oh my God, like she can't travel anymore. It means our friendship is over. No, we become curious. Is there another tank that this person can
Wow.
fill for me that I can fill for them? It's, whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, we're always growing and evolving. And so as a result, we're always grieving the loss of the old version of that friendship and being curious with the new one that's being birthed. As long as we do that, as long as we're open to that, we can grow with our relationships
Oh, wow.
instead of being friends with an older version that just no longer exists.
That is so powerful. And actually, on a previous episode, we touched a little bit briefly on this. So I really love that you've like added to that, because we were actually talking about how it's energy essentially. It's not a person, and the version of me, early teens, 20s to now, is not the same person. And so, how can I also say past people be like, oh no, because I don't know what journey they've had in between. I don't know how they've transformed in whatever version they are. And that is essentially it. We're constantly growing and evolving. Whether it's massive transformation or small, it doesn't matter. So I really love that you mentioned that, and yeah, it's just not having that expectation, is it, of like you say, and I love that you use that word as well, like almost mourning, like, oh, I remember when we used to do this together. No, like now we have this new exploration to explore, and I love that the wording you use as well, like to be curious. It's just all that reframing, isn't it? Of like, wow, look at this new version of us now. And it shows your growth and your transformation. Like, for example, with you're married now. So even with you are naturally going to be slightly different versions and containers for other people, because, and it's not saying that, marriage changes you, but you have a different commitment. And you honor that commitment. It's something that's important to you. So I love that. So just thinking about, because I also knew you single. Now you are married, which is just absolutely beautiful. For maybe not necessarily ladies, anyone listening right now who just intuitively that might just need a message right now, and what would come to your mind?
Intuitively, the message that would come is stop lawyering up in conflict. I think that's a big one that I see is, well, two messages came. Well, I'll start with this one first. Lawyering up. And what I mean by that is when we are in conflict with someone, conflict can be a medium of connection if we're willing to listen, to understand, and not listen to respond. What I see often working with couples or even, individuals is, oh my God, like he said, pulling out the receipts, he said this, she said this, and it's like we're trying so hard to prove to the other person that I am right, and you are wrong. And we forget that we're on the same team. We act as if it's me versus you. It's not, it's us versus the problem. I see a lot of relationships being ruptured by that and people not having the tools to repair it. So that's the first thing. And this happens in dating phase too, where it feels like war. The dating experience becomes like a war zone because of that. So that's the first one. And the second one is no amount of being in touch 24/7 is going to take away the need to have time to get to know someone. And what I mean by that is when I meet someone, I need time to see them in different circumstances and in different situations. I need to see how they respond when they're angry, when they're frustrated. Being in touch with someone 24/7 when you first meet them isn't going to get you to bypass that process. I see people meeting someone and they're like, oh my God, we're in touch 24/7. Good morning, good night, a million texts in between. And I just know it's so different. Like it feels like we've known each other for a lifetime. No one knows each other for a lifetime, a week that they've met. I know this might be triggering for some people, but my husband and I were best friends for 11 years before we got married. Best friends, my number one best friend in my life. And let me tell you, I still did not know who he was when we started dating. So there's no way for anyone to like meet someone and be like, oh my God, this is a twin flame, a soul flame, all these terminology that's out there. You need time. So if you're noticing that you are leaning into this over communication, this over need to be in contact 24/7, check in with your nervous system. Why? What is the message? What is the fear? What is this dysregulation teaching you, showing you? Get curious with that and give yourself time for that safety element to be earned and built. Both parties need to put in consistent effort to build a safe dynamic. It's not something that's just easily given to one another. There needs to be time, and by time, I have to put a huge and, consistent effort. Someone hot and cold being there one day and not being there the other day, and you guys are like dating 6 months on and off, but like 3 days he's there and 3 days is, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consistent effort with time.
Amazing. The whole time you were speaking, and this is just how it came in my mind, was that typical runner chaser scenario, because it's almost like if you blink, or if I let go of the reins, maybe he'll go. No, let him. Like, are you gonna do that for the rest of your life, being like, okay, and it's like, no amount of time, this is how I heard it, is going to make him go, oh, do you know what? Okay, so she's constantly there, so yeah, no, she'll just be constantly here now. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, it's not just like, hello, I'm here, don't go. So that's how I heard it, and I can relate that it's like running, chasing, nothing, tumbleweed. Oh, now we're running, chasing. No, just no. So I really, really value and appreciate that. And this is what you'll find with Tannaz. Very wise words, I must put out there. Yes, and one last thing that came back around recently in my life. We won't go too much into it, but every time I really talk to people about the pause, and I remember you saying something, and I wouldn't say it triggered me because that's quite a strong word, and you kept saying pause, what a pleasure, and I was like, what is this? No, but you can laugh about it now, but I was like, what? Like, imagine this. I'm completely unconscious. There's me, right? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just read. This is how my mind works. This is how, whatever we want to call it, the divine, the universe, whatever, puts me in situations. Is I don't read things. I imagine what I think it's gonna be, and then the universe goes, enjoy, bye. And what it was is I had, oh, I'd love to go to Mykonos. Goddess, oh, I've got all these beautiful goddess clothes, and we're going to be like these goddesses on the mountains, and like, oh, it's going to be so fun. I completely missed the memo. And when I say this to you, this is not at all downplaying my experience. It was one of the most transformational experiences of my life that I am so thankful for. And if anyone is listening to this and really feeling more than the words of this and being like, this is something I want to seek, you need to contact her. Because I went there and get presented with this schedule, and I'm like, huh? What do you mean? I'm like, where's the dressing up? Where's the like going on trips? Where's the sunbathing? Where's the sunbathing on here? And I was like, huh? Yoga before sunset and breath. I'm like, what? I don't even know what these words are. And next thing, I'm like really feeling sorry for myself. Like, what are you doing, Shelley? This was not your Mykonos experience. But when I say to you, we walked around that island and it was magnetic. And that was the first time. It was not something that can really be expressed. It's something that's felt. And I don't know what it was, but I was walking and I felt in the most beautiful, held way, fully seen, fully heard. And this was the big one for me, is respected and honored. And that was the energy I felt different, because, and there's nothing against this, but you go to these countries and they're wolf whistling and, and all this. And this was completely different. We were entering restaurants and they were moving the area to make it like, oh no, that it's literally, it was like goddesses have arrived and they were creating a table for us. They was not sitting inside in the corner hiding. This was like, no, you ladies are sitting here. You are going to be on show. And everybody, it was just an energy I could not describe. Everybody just wanted to really pour into us. And that was the first time where I was like, what is going on here? It was just, I didn't know, but magnetic, just absolutely magnetic. And I was like, I want more of this. So anyway, I feel like I could speak. I usually say, like, if you have a last message or your vision for the future, but I feel like you've already shared some incredible words. But just because this is your special session, which I'm so happy about, if there is anything else you feel that you would like to share just before we conclude this beautiful episode, I would love to know.
Oof, you mentioned two really good points when you were with your powerful storytelling skills. The pause,
dramatic.
What a pleasure. No, powerful. Pause, what a pleasure. I think that's really important to just talk about it briefly, because what we're saying is, instead of reacting to life circumstances, pause, say, what a pleasure this is showing up in my life. And that pause will allow you to reframe and to respond from a different place than reacting out of fear. So that's what it means. It doesn't mean that there's no spiritual bypassing happening. We're pausing, we're shifting our perspective, and then we're responding. And it reaffirms this belief that everything is happening for me and not to me, stepping outside of victimhood and into that empowered state of the universe is always supporting me and is my biggest cheerleader and supporter. So you're reaffirming that through your words. That's pause, what a pleasure. And just one comment, if I could make, about when you were sharing the way we were received, is precisely the divine feminine. The divine feminine receives. The masculine gives, the feminine receives, the yin and the yang. the yin being the feminine. And when we are seen, when we are heard, when we are understood, all parts of us, because when you're doing the inner work, every part comes to the surface. Every part that feels safe comes to the surface. So if you feel safe in a space, then these different parts of us, so in IFS, let's say we call them the the firefighters, the managers, so the protector parts of us, they come to the surface. And instead of being judged and shamed, someone looks at you and says, I get it. I can see why you have this protective part. I can understand why you have these maladaptive patterns or these coping strategies. It's to keep you safe, even though right now they're not serving you, but at some point they served you. When you feel seen, every part of you feels seen. You step into that divine feminine. You are no longer playing small. You're no longer hiding. You're no longer afraid of visibility, because you know you are child of God, child of the Creator, child of the universe. You are a mirror of the divine consciousness. And so self-worth is not earned, it is remembered. You remember that. Yes. And guess what? The universe responds to that energy. So that's what I would say. I would say doing the inner work leads to that, because you're finally feeling seen. And that's what I love about group containers versus one-on-one, is it allows more of that being seen and held and understood.
Thank you for that. And absolutely, because it was funny how different on different days, each of us, or multiple of us, we were holding that pillar for each other. So yeah, just to I don't want to say conclude, because I also feel like that's like a full stop and I like to leave a comma, but it's been, and I mean this from like the depths of my heart, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I know that someone listening to this is really going to get so many valuable nuggets, but more than that, because it isn't just something to listen to and just enjoy. Of course, you're going to get some insightful wisdom and knowledge, which you will find every time you speak to Tannaz. But I've got all her details. This lady is exceptional. We're not even touching on like half of what she has in this incredible mind of hers. Single, not single, it doesn't matter. She is just so, what I like to think, just really intuitively connected. And just what I love about your technique is that, and it's not even, sorry, I don't even like using the word technique, it's just you, it's the embodiment of you, is that she doesn't tell you the answers, because nobody's here to do the work for us. Essentially, we provide the nuggets, we express what we feel that the person needs to know at the time. But the real true reward is in you finding the answer yourself. And this, and again, I did sessions with Tannaz years ago, and at first I was like, why is she not telling me? I don't understand. Why is she not telling me? But there's beauty in that. And even if you just have a discovery call with her, do it. Do it, do it, do it. You, my darling, I'm so blessed to have you in my life, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and wishing you just the best in all areas of your life, which you are already fulfilling, because you know you deserve that. And that's a really important thing as well. Know your worth. Love you so much.
Thank you, Shel.
You're so welcome.
So lovely. Bye.